What is up, everybody? Welcome back to album review time again. Ooh, and we're back to back. Last time we did Home Team. It was such a good album. So good, in fact, it made me want to listen to more pop punk, but not only more pop punk, but more Home Team. That is kind of what we're going to be getting into today. This album that we are going to be taking a look at is an album that has come out very recently, May of 2023, from a band that I only recently discovered around the same time. I believe it was one of the singles from this album released, and that is the first I had ever heard of the band. But they have quickly climbed my ranks and are in my top. They are so good, and this album has a lot of features from a lot of really incredibly talented bands and musicians, including the Home Team. The album, of course, that we are talking about today is Arrows in Action, Built to Last. I mean, you saw the title of the thing. It's obviously, we're listening to Arrows in Action, Built to Last. But man, I'm so excited for this one. This is an album that I have not listened to all the way through front to back, and I'm very excited. There are some songs on this album that I have listened to death. Maybe half the songs I have listened to many times. Some of the songs I've only listened to once or twice. Some of the songs I haven't heard yet. So this album is all over the place. And we're trying a new format today with the review, in that what we're going to be trying to do today, as far as format changes, is normally I have the lyrics off to the side with the YouTube video, and then you here watching the stream don't get the lyrics. So I have come up with a way to potentially get us some of these lyrics so that you who are listening live can have access to them, as per the request of one of our new viewers from last time. So we're going to be giving that a try. Now, today, for this Arrows in Action album, like I said, we have a little bit of information to go over. I'm gonna start doing this in advance. I mentioned it in the Home Team review. Going forward, I'm gonna be doing the artist credits, the album credits, and any additional fun facts and stuff about the album that I have access to through Genius beforehand, instead of doing them at the end. As always, I want to issue my warning. Support the artists. If you like what you hear today, do not let this be the end of your journey with this band. Please go support in any way that you can, even if that is just going on iTunes Music and Spotify and listening, or buying merch, or going to see shows. We always love supporting the band and not just listening this one time and stopping there. As I said, this album was released in May 26th of 2023. So really, not that long ago, 4 months ago. And there's a little blurb here on Genius about the album. Arrows in Action, the band, posted on their socials regarding the concept of the album. This album is the culmination of moving away from our home state for the first time, writing and creating with our friends across several years, and learning to be a band with staying power. We've talked about releasing a full-length record since we first started playing together, but the time never felt right. Finally, with you here to celebrate with us, the time could not be more perfect. Man, yeah. And they got some really great features on this album. A lot of these songs hit really hard. This one I'm very excited for. 13 songs, substantially shorter than the other 13-song album we just recently did in Breakdance's Hypochondriac. This one is only 40 minutes long, around the same length as the Home Team's Slow Bloom. We're gonna go through one song at a time and break down the lyrics and see how this album holds up compared to some of the rest of the incredible music that we've listened to here on the channel. Some of the song credits on this album was produced by Andrew Pacheco, Dan Swank, and Kyle Black. You might recognize some of these names. They're pretty big in like pop punk and just like music industry to begin with. This album has a lot of writer credits. And that is just because I believe that they did a lot with this album, and a lot of these songs feature a lot of people. But I also believe that a lot of these features are other members of bands that are featured on the album, as well as other people that wrote just like individual instruments and stuff. So writers, we have Alexander Austin Pearson, Andrew Pacheco, Dan Swank, Freddie Criales, Gran Laderman, High Res, Jesse Frimmel, John Book, Joshua Roberts, Julianne Camo, Knox Morris, Kyle Black, Matthew Fowler, Ricky Manning, Spencer Jordan, Tristan Torres, Victor Viramontes Pattison, and Vincent Ernst. The album was mastered by Grant Barry, and it was mixed by Salvatore Sam Guyana, and it was mixed by Dan Swank. So Dan Swank, all over this album. Producer, writer, engineer. Don't have anything else to say. I want to get into the first track, which is the longest track on the album at 3 minutes and 38 seconds. This song, track 1, is Made for This. Oh, we're just in. I really love this dude's vocals too. This is like such a cool old school vibe. Ah, man. It's like Reliant K, All Time Low, Remembering Sunday, all mixed in this like contemporary pop punk bow, and it's. I really like the muted percussion in the back. We're gonna get into hard chorus. Ooh. Oh. Wow! What a strong start to this album. It's like a power anthem. Like this guitar in the background is almost reminiscent of Queen. It's just like so powerful. This soundscape is really interesting. I don't know if it's the album that's quiet or if just my audio's messed up, but I felt like his vocals were a little hard to hear. So that was Made for This. That was track 1 on this album, and man, that was a really great way to start. I kind of internalized the energy that they put into this, and I think I see where the rest of the album is going to go based on just this first track alone. We're going to get into the second track here in a minute, but we got to break down some of these lyrics first, which I'm hoping that this will work. So I'm going to go to the lyrics. We're going to boom. So now you should be able to see them. Wow, look at that. So the song starts. Cover your eyes so I can catch you up by surprise. Retell all of my old lies so I'll know who I am. Try to have fun. Came to find that everyone has just been singing the same songs with no patience or peace. That is going to be hard to get used to scrolling while I'm reading. Yeah, that one is it's a hard. Let's break into it. So cover your eyes so I can catch you by surprise. Sure. Retell all of my old lies so I'll know who I am. And that kind of sounds like he doesn't know who he is at this point. He's trying to figure it out. And this character that he has potentially been playing throughout his entire life or throughout playing music, he's saying, I've lied to so many people. I've made this version of myself that other people expect me to be. So you tell me who I am. Came to find that try to have fun. Came to find that everyone has just been singing the same songs with no patience or peace. We've seen this theme in a lot of the albums that we've listened to, that it seems like a lot of these musicians that we have been listening to tired of the regurgitation in the music industry, creating things with no reason, creating stuff that sounds like other things, like sampling other music. So many songs come out these days that are just remakes or resamples of old songs, maybe even songs that were sampled by other songs and then are now being sampled again by new artists. And a lot of these musicians that we listen to here on this channel are trying to create something new and feel lost and feel like they are taking a risk, not just doing the easy thing and regurgitating more of this stuff. We're getting into the chorus. Wasting my days, counting down the seconds. The years they go by leave me second guessing. Maybe they'll love me when I finally get out of this town. Tired of holding myself back for no good reason. Been asking these questions that have no meaning. What was I made for? if I wasn't made for this now. That is a touching chorus. That is truly a touching chorus, and we get the whole thing in the thing. I'm kind of excited about this. This is like next level, top shelf in content creation. Wasting my day counting down the seconds. The years go by, they leave me second guessing. Man, ain't that the truth though? We're waiting for the next thing to happen. The days are passing by. We're expecting whatever is going to happen next. But then, as time flies, we look back and think, oh, and the time did fly. It seemed like while we're waiting for time to march on, and then by the time we get to where we're going, we look back at all the time we wasted. Maybe they'll love me when I finally get out of this town. That is, I feel like that is a really relatable line for people who grew up in small towns and maybe even grew up in like really tight families. I mean, even grew up in maybe dysfunctional families and have this thought of nobody cares that I'm here. Maybe people will care once I'm not. Very relatable. Tired of holding myself back for no good reason. Been asking these questions that have no meaning. What was I made for if I wasn't made for now? Yeah, that's kind of a positive outlook on what was I made for if I wasn't made for this now. Is we're all living in this moment. We have to take advantage of the time that we have and where we are now. Live life to the fullest, kind of. What's the point if I don't live every second in a positive way, in a good way, and make the most of it? Then we get into verse 2. Sit back and pout, organize all your self-doubt, try to dial in the sound, a sweet cadence begins. Put on a show, try to outshine my shadow, hope I don't end up hollow all over again. I really like the way that the lyrics are, I guess, formatted here. Sit back and pout, organize all your self-doubt. Again, it's just relatable. So he's talking about somebody who's wallowing in their own self-pity. Try to dial in the sound. A sweet cadence begins. It's all very poetic, and it's kind of melancholic. Maybe not even that. Maybe it's just depressing. Maybe he's just talking about somebody who's sad and doesn't want to pick themselves up. And maybe he's talking about himself too. The next line being, put on a show, try to outshine my shadow, hope I don't end up hollow. He's just playing this character. He maybe doesn't really know who he is. It seems like this expectation of himself is hard to live up to. This expectation he set on himself is hard to live up to, trying to outshine his own shadow. And then we get into this bridge. Let me get there. So what's left to do? Maybe get a new tattoo, rewrite all my old rules to get me thinking straight. I'm a mile away, but inching closer every day to put a smile, to figure out what I could say to put a smile on your face. I really like the, so what's left to do? Maybe get a new tattoo. I know a lot of people who get tattoos just because it's character creation. It's just, yeah, I want a new tattoo. And I feel like it's just kind of one of those things. It's like getting a haircut or dyeing your hair or getting a piercing, or it's just one of these things that people do to express themselves, or maybe sometimes people do if they just need a change. They just need something new. They need something that they feel like they can control. And he goes on to say, rewrite all my old rules to get me thinking straight. Again, he's talking about this. It feels like he's just talking about this old version of himself that he's trying to put away or at least outshine. I'm a mile away, but inching closer every day to figure out what I could say to put a smile on your face. He's really invested in what other people think of him and how he can make other people feel. He's less interested in himself, in making himself feel good. And that's this song. That's made for this. I really like this track. Really, really strong way to open up the album. Now we're going to move into track 2, Over It. All right. Very different vibe immediately. Ooh, whoa. Holy moly. All right. This is absolutely putting the pop in pop punk. I'm getting huge all-time low vibes. And I don't mind. I do not mind one bit. Everybody says that I'm close at the bottom of a hill, nowhere to go but over it. Whew. A little breakdown. A little falsetto on the back half. Yeah. Yeah, cool song. I really like this dude's voice, and I want us to get more of him playing with his vocals throughout this album, because I feel like the songs that I have listened to are still very like straightforward, very simple, and though very intricate in like the way that the music is performed, I feel like vocally they're not super complex. He just has a really, really good voice. But I really enjoyed that song, so let's get into the lyrics. Verse 1 here. Hey mom, I'm doing just fine. No, I haven't called in a long, long time. But no news is good news. I swear I've got a few new interests. Met another girl on the internet. Can you tell me that I'm full of shit from there? I really like this. It starts with, he's calling his mom. He's saying, I know I haven't called in a while. I don't have any news, but no news is good news, because things could be worse. Things could be bad. I've got a few new interests. I met another girl on the internet. Can you tell that I'm full of shit from there? It's funny because he's kind of saying like, I hope she can't tell that I'm like lying or that I'm bullshitting. That's a really, and I think there's nothing else to break into in this first verse. I think he's just pretty straight up there. This pre-chorus, hate to hang up, but I'm late for getting punched right in the face by a world that wants to break me down. So he's hanging up on his poor mother that he hasn't spoken to in so long for getting punched right in the face by a world that wants to break me down. He's just having a rough time. Seems like the music is hard. They're having trouble finding success. He doesn't have any news. He doesn't have any news for it. Doesn't have anything positive to say. And then we get this chorus. Got my rent to pay, but I'm broke. All my shoes are down to the soles. Yeah, my bed is still on the floor, and I'm so over it. Everybody's falling in love while I'm stumbling home, still drunk. 20-something, down on my lunk, and I'm so over it. Very relatable. Got rent to pay, but I'm broke. Relatable. All my shoes are down to the sole. Relatable. Yeah, my bed is still on the floor. Not relatable anymore, but used to, when I was in college, still relatable. And I'm so over it. Everybody's falling in love while I'm stumbling home drunk. It's relatable. I mean, you're looking around and you're seeing all your friends and people getting married and having kids and all that stuff. And from his perspective, at least, he's still single, living in a cruddy apartment, bed on the floor, and down on his luck. 20-something, down on my luck. And then we get verse 2. Kind of wish a friend would text me, feeling like my wallet and my glass half empty. Oh, I'm sorry for the venting. I ain't in a rush. I'm just ready for the ending. There's a lot to break into here. Kind of wish a friend would text me, feeling like my wallet and my glass half empty. It's relatable. I feel like all of us like to feel like we're thought of. So we like it when somebody texts us, when a friend checks in or something, right? It's a good feeling. And feeling like my wallet and my glass are half empty, very pessimistic way to look at life. He's broke, obviously, and he doesn't see the bright side of things. But he apologizes to us, the listener, whoever he's talking to, his mom maybe, for venting. He's saying, I'm not in a rush. I'm just ready for the ending. He's ready for, I don't think that's I'm waiting for the ending, or I'm ready for the ending like he wants to die. I think it's ready for the ending like he's ready for the happy ending. I'm not in a rush. It doesn't need to be here now, but like if the good things could start happening so that we could get to that like end point, that would be great. So I don't think he's talking about death there. And that's all the lyrics in this song. We have the bridge here, but I'm so scared I'll end up back home. Everybody says that I'm close, at the bottom of a hill, nowhere to go, but I'm over it. Yeah, it's just more talking about the pressures of trying to make it, and scared that he'll end up back home. Everybody says I'm so close, I'm assuming means everybody says that I'm so close to making it. Like, people are like, oh, your music is good, blah, blah, blah. So like, you're almost there, which I guess in the case of this album, they might have been right, because I believe that this is kind of their taking off point. I feel like they only go up from here. That was track 2, Over It. Now we're gonna get into track 3, High. And oh boy, does this song rule. Hit the funky bass line, baby. Yeah.
Staring at my phone for the fifth time this evening, thinking, is she gonna make me call and make this easy? Got me wondering like what side of the coin I'm gonna get tonight. It's hell or heaven, either way I won't put up a fight. I know she knows she's got me in the palm of her hands. Whoa.
Guess I'm only good enough when she says I am. She's so sweet.
Only when she needs something from me. I love the way that her halo is hiding her horns, bringing knives to the pillow fight just 'cause she likes to put me down so low. What she don't know is that it gets me high.
That just rule. He's like, he goes up, he goes down. We're getting a lot of falsetto in this song.
You call it torture,
I call it
paradise. You tell me to jump, the only question I got lots on my mind. To a pillow fight just 'cause she likes to put me down so low. But what she don't know is that it gets me high, high.
And it just ends just like that. I love these like really harsh endings. That song again, it's not a lot. It's just like a chorus of like 4 times, and I think it's only 2 verses. That's fine because it's a fire chorus. You got fire bass line, and his vocals are just so good every time. So it doesn't need to be complex. It doesn't need to be like a million verses with like crazy bars. It just needs to sound good, and it does. Let's bust into some of these lyrics. Verse 1, staring at my phone for the 5th time this evening, thinking, is she gonna make me call or make this easy? Got me wondering like which side of the coin I'm gonna get tonight. It's hell or heaven. Either way, I won't put up a fight. It's the classic lady. Lady, is she good? Is she bad? Maybe she's a little bad while she's good. I don't know. Bites lip. It's one of those. And I think it's pretty straightforward. It's no need to break into it. I know she knows she's got me in the palm of her hand. I guess I'm only good enough when she says I am. Yeah, I mean that's a classic dummy mommy kind of vibe. Where he's like, he's simping for this lady, big time. She has me in the palm of her hand, and I'm only good enough when she says I am, but I think he's okay with that, you know? And then the chorus, she's so sweet only when she needs something from me. I love the way that her halo is hiding her horns, bringing knives to a pillow fight just 'cause she likes to put me down so low, but she don't know is that it gets me high. Yeah, it's the same talking points as the first verse, basically. It just reiterates she's a sweetie poo, but she also is a demon. And I love the way that her halo is hiding her horns is like she's sweet when she needs to be, and she's bad when she needs to be. Bringing knives to a pillow fight just because she likes to put me down so low. It's really giving Step on Me vibes. I'm gonna be honest. It's really giving Step on Me vibes. Verse 2, sometimes you're begging me just to spend the day skin to skin. Next thing I know, you show me the door and it's 5 a.m. Nothing's really worth it if it's only ever easy, right? Your hell is heaven and I think you're showing me the light. Your hell is heaven and I think you're showing me the light. Say another way to say the same thing he's been saying all song, but sometimes you're begging me just to spend the day skin to skin. You know, sometimes she wants him, and then the next thing he knows is she's kicking him out. She got what she needed from him. Nothing's really worth it if it's only ever easy, right? So he's saying even though this is hard, even though it's like she's putting me through a lot here, it's worth it, baby, because she's a baddie. And then we just have this bridge, waking up between your legs and reading in between the lines. Innuendo. You call it torture, I call it paradise. You tell me the jump, the only question I got left on my mind is how high? How high? How high? A very simple song, very simple lyrically. It sounds so good. Next, we're gonna get into track 4, Entropy. Getting band Camino vibes right off the gate. Oh. I really like this guitar. I like the production here. It sounds like, it almost sounds hollow. Ooh. Yeah. Let that guitar talk to him. Love this instrumental breakdown. Ooh, the like syncopation. This is just a Band Camino song though. Ooh, yeah. Sing it to him. Woo. Entropy. Kind of a banger. I'm a big fan of Band Camino, and that is a Band Camino song. Let's roll down these lyrics real quick. I had some thoughts while we were listening. Verse 1. Thought that maybe when I made it here, I'd reset, hoping I'd see clear. Never knew that it could get this far. Now half my friends are battle scars. Spent a couple days in my hometown. Used to love this place. Now it has no sound. Sun setting over who I was and the things I loved. That's for how kind of like cheerful the song sounds. Thought that maybe when I made it here, I'd reset. It's a very relatable. This entire album, I feel, is very relatable to me personally. I don't know. But I felt the same way when I moved from not even my hometown, but my home state, and I moved to where we are now. I was like, it's a new start. We don't know anybody here. It's a new opportunity to make friends and to try to start our lives over. And then he says, never knew that it could get this far. Now half my friends are battle scars. Is like, okay, I'm here. I did it. But now everybody that I used to know is gone. They're just like faded memories. It's very sad. Spent a couple days in my hometown. Used to love this place. Now it has no sound. Sun's setting over who I was and the things I loved. Again, it's coming from a perspective of like you go back to your hometown after leaving, and everything just seems small. Everything seems empty. Everything seems not. It's just that. Whatever this place was, it was a lot bigger when I was smaller, and the person who I used to be is not here anymore. The person who I was when I was here is gone. So even though I am here, I am not the person I was when this place was mine. Very touching, very relatable. Now I'm on my own in a city of gold, popped up by West Coast thrills and my fear of being alone. Yeah, so he went out, moved away alone into this big new city of gold, California, wherever, popped up by West Coast thrills, which seems like a trend, right? It's like a lot of people go to California and then they're like expecting big things, or it's because they think that's the only place that they can make it, and then they are just like beat into the ground with reality. I could stay, I could leave, but it's all entropy. It's a night or 3 weeks and I'm back on the street. Give me hate, give me love, give me feelings to numb. Bite your lip, hold your tongue. Are we still having fun? I could stay, I could leave, but it's all entropy is kind of a bar. Entropy, it's just unpredictable. It's just, I could stay, I could leave, I just don't know. It's a night or it's 3 weeks and I'm back on the street. He doesn't have any money, he can't like pay rent. He's just back on the street. Give me hate, give me love, give me feelings to numb. He just wants, he's basically saying he doesn't feel anything. He's apathetic. And so he's saying, give me feelings, let me feel something so that like the drinking is worth it. That's how I interpret that. He's like, I want to drink to numb the pain, but I don't feel anything. So there's no point in even drinking or getting high or whatever it is. And then questioning, are we still having fun? Maybe we should just get out of here. Maybe I should just disappear. I can't tell if I'm lying when I tell myself I'm happy here. I keep saying I should take some time, just take a second, figure out who I am. But every month when I'm at my end, I'm back again and I pretend. So I get questioning if this was all right, if it was the right decision to upend everything and come to this new place and try for this new life. And he's questioning if he should just leave. He can't tell if he's lying or if he's happy there. I keep saying I should take some time, take a second, figure out who I am. But every month when I'm at my end, I'm back again and I pretend. So he's just in this cycle of trying really hard to be better, to change, to not just be who he was or who he's expected to be, but it doesn't ever stick. And that's Entropy. Really, really cool song. Love the vibes. Next, we're gonna head into track 5. I really like this song. This song features Loveless and Magnolia Park, 2 incredible artists. let's head into the credits.
Another night reciting words you said. I thought by now that I could let you go.
Okay, this one's a little darker.
Just go cold. And if I could, I'd do it differently. I know I can't replay that day over, but I'd kill for one more night with you.
Really chill vibes. Really, really vibey. Ooh, this like synth is really cool. This is Loveless. Like it feels like an aha pop punk song. Ooh, this post-chorus is really, really neat. And now we're Magnolia Park. I'm just liking listening to this one. I don't have a lot to say about it. Ooh. We're getting back into this like the radio tuning or like the tape playing sound effects. And then the song ends. Oh wait, but there's still like 10 seconds left in the song. Is that just tape going? Yeah, it's just tape going. So that was the credits. I do really like the song. Another one that is just good to listen to. This is I feel like, what's the best way to put this? This is like the perfect track 5. This is like, you're not quite to the back half of the album, but you're not at that halfway point either. It's like, okay, we're gonna just give you something kind of chill, something to get you into that track 6, which is gonna mark like our halfway point, which will likely give you a little bit more something, you know? Let's get these lyrics. Verse 1. Another year with you inside my head. Another night reciting words you said. I thought by now that I could let you go. I wish the oldest flames would just go cold. And if I could, I'd do it differently. I'd go back and change the ending scene, rewrite all the lines and change the leads, and cut out all the parts that made me me. Cut out all the parts that made me me. I forgot to scroll. Yeah, he's just feeling, it just seems like he's feeling bummed out. He's got this person, an ex or somebody, whatever they said to him, it's stuck, and he just keeps dwelling on it and repeating these words and over and over again. I wish the oldest flames would just go cold. That makes me think that it is maybe an ex, somebody that he potentially loved, and he still has feelings for them and wish that he didn't. And if I could, I'd do it differently. I'd go back and change the ending scene. He's saying it almost sounds like regret. He's saying whatever that thing that happened, here's how I would do it if I was in charge. I would not even have me be part of that situation. I would cut out the lead and I would change all the parts that were me. I would change those things. The chorus, I know I can't replay that day over, but I'd kill for one more night with you. Still searching for closure. The credits are rolling and I'm still holding on. It really is this like, it's a song about a breakup or something like that, but he's still there. You know, you're looking at it from the perspective of a movie. You're watching the movie ends, the story is over, their story is over, but he's still sitting watching the credits, right? He's still, I don't think it's intentionally like waiting for a post-credit scene, but it kind of feels like that, where he's like waiting for a post-credit scene that's never gonna come. Like he says, I'd kill for one more night with you, and then goes into the credits are rolling, but I'm still holding on. It's like he's like, that one more thing might be at the end of the credits. Or at least holding out hope that there might be. And then we get Loveless's verse, which I really, really like this verse. All I see is you and him, like a spotlight when the room gets dim. Baby, it's a little bit hard to cope, seeing your hands slide under his coat. Am I just a joke to you? I'm out here on the street calling your name. You got me dancing in the rain. Come and go. I know you're not here to stay, but without you, I don't feel a single thing. Definitely just keeping on this kind of movie theme. He's hyper fixating on this person. All he sees is you. And he's seeing them with a new person, with a new man. It's hard. It's just like that they've moved on and you haven't. And then you have like the dancing in the rain line. I'm out on the street calling your name. You got me dancing in the rain. I know you're not here to stay, but without you, I don't feel a single thing. Just loss of that flame again, of just that loved one, or that relationship ending, and it's just hard to deal with. It's a hard emotional breakup. Chorus the same. Then we get a whole post-chorus where he just goes holding on. I'm still holding on. I'm still holding on. I'm still holding on. You got to have some of those in there. And we get the Magnolia Park bridge. You say it's easy to forget you. You say it's easy to forget you. You got me hanging off the edge, hanging off the edge. I can't get no rest, holding till I'm dead. And then we just get the chorus, a couple outros, and that's that song. Lyrically, really sad. A really sad sort of breakup song. Tonally, I think fits where we are in the album really well. All right, next up, we're getting into track 6. Almost at the halfway point, or breaking into the halfway point, with Put You Through Me.
You've been trying to keep me in your bed. I can tell from all the marks that you've been leaving on my neck. It was never anything you said.
Ooh.
It was all premeditated from the moment that we met. Don't start falling, I'm sorry if I'm not here.
I love the piano here.
Give me all of you just for a piece of me. But honestly, I'm just afraid that I can't love somebody back.
Ooh, these like the percussion in this song is really neat. Just the entire instrumentation is super interesting. Oh, these really muffled voice. This like he's talking through a toaster. Woo! Hold that. Wow. Very pretty. There you go. He's showing off his vocal skills there. I love it. That was Put You Through Me. That song is ironic, I feel like, because what he's meaning by I don't want to put you through me is like when you say nobody should have to go through something like that, or like, you know, when somebody's like nobody should have to go through losing a child or lose, or like, why is that the thing that I thought of? But he's just it's the thought that you shouldn't have to go through that. And he's talking about himself. He's saying you shouldn't have to go through the experience of being with me. And that's interesting being played. The sentiment of that song is interesting to be put in the middle of the album. Because it's like, I know he's not talking to us. I know that he's talking to the person likely referenced in the previous song, but it's like it's like you're telling the audience inadvertently, sorry, like halfway through the album. And I think that's very silly. Let's get into these lyrics. Verse 1, which is kind of like that old school, like very with the piano, and it's just like his clean vocals. It's very like 60s, and I like it. It's very, very nice. You've been trying to keep me in your bed. I can tell from all the marks that you've been leaving on my neck. It was never anything you said. It was all premeditated from the moment that we met. That's a little red flaggy. What you mean by that? It was all premeditated from the moment that we met. You met this person and you're like, all right, I'm gonna get my bag and I'm gonna dip. Don't start falling. I'm sorry if I'm not here in the morning. Give me all of you just for a piece of me. So he's now he's like in the opposite, where High, in the song High, he was talking about this person or this woman who is doing this to him. And now maybe that's in his mind, that's a thing that can happen. So now he's doing that to somebody else. Chorus. So darling, don't get too close. There's nothing here to see. If we end up going down this road, you'll end up underneath my feet eventually. No, you don't want to love me right now because, baby, I don't even like me. So how am I supposed to let myself be everything you need? So sweet, then leave. I don't want to put you through me. Yeah, it really is just like he's saying, don't get attached. I'm not anything special. If we end up doing this, you'll end up underneath my feet. Feels like a really weird line that I'm interpreting as she'll like fall in love with him and like worship him, that kind of thing. No, you don't want to love me right now because I don't even like me. So how am I supposed to let myself be everything you need? So yeah, he's just saying like, yeah, it's the classic don't love somebody else until you can love yourself. And boy, do I not love myself. So I can't love you. So don't love me. So sweet, then leave. I don't want to put you through me. So yeah, he's giving fair warning. I'm a mess. And then verse 2. And everybody thinks my heart's gone black, but honestly, I'm just afraid that I can't love somebody back. Because the devil's in the details, telling us how we feel, but what if I just want to give up? I'm kind of unpredictable. Swear to God, I'll make you miserable, and I could never be enough. Lots of self-doubt, lots of anxiety. It's again, other people are telling him, hey man, you're like a bummer, like stop. And he's like, but internally, he's afraid. He's worried, he's anxious about what might happen if he tries to be in a relationship again, likely after this ex relationship that he was in before. Then you get chorus, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge. Yeah. A really interesting song halfway through the album here. But we are going to get into the next song on this album, Learned My Lesson, track 7, halfway, baby.
Wanna tell my mom the things I've done that keep me at arm's length. How I cheated through my classes, the toxins in my brain.
Another another unique start.
The fool he'll come to be. I tell him don't go chasing rhythms if you can't stand to move your feet.
Ooh, heartbreaking.
I feel like the party's over when everybody says it's just begun. A buck short and another day older.
This chorus is cool. These guys can write a damn chorus. Whether or not this album or this type of music is for you, these guys can write. These choruses slap. Even if the rest of the songs are like just okay, every single song on this album so far has had a banger chorus that, like, even if it doesn't rock your world, it sticks. I can go back and think of every single chorus in every song that we've listened to so far. They're so good at this chorus game. I don't know. This is like a unique skill that these guys have. These choruses are nuts. Woo! Oh man! Chorus, just a stripped version of the chorus. Oh! Yeah! Classic. Nice. Whoa. Learn My Lesson is one that I slept on historically here with this album, but this was kind of a surprise sitting down and listening to it deeply like this. Yeah, a sleeper's track for sure. But hitting that halfway point, that's what you need. You need something to re-energize you and give you that second wind for the back half. And oh man, this was a lot of fun. All right. Verse 1. Want to tell my mom the things I've done that keep me at arm's length. How I cheated through my classes, the toxins in my brain. Want to warn my younger self about the fool he'll become. I tell him don't go chasing rhythms if you can't stand to move your feet. So he's talking to himself here. He's saying, I want to tell my mom the things I've done, why I'm distant. yeah, he lists a few things that would make her disappointed in him, probably. And then he says, I want to go back and tell myself I'm going to become a dummy, a dumb doo-doo head. And he's saying, don't go chasing rhythms if you can't stand to move your feet. That first like read of that, I get he's saying it maybe took a lot of work to get him to actually start putting the work in, you know, like he it sounds like maybe he gave up, or not gave up, he packed up and moved out and wanted to become a musician, but then he didn't really and he didn't put in the effort. He was like, I'm just gonna do it and I hope it just happens. I'll release a song here and there, they'll blow up on the internet and I'll be a great famous musician, and then I won't have to do any work. And then when it turns out to be work, he didn't want to do it anymore until he gave himself that motivation. Something clicked, and then they started writing this album. I immediately go into verse 2. Spend a lot of time debating who I think I'm supposed to be, because I'm afraid of all the damage that always comes from being me. Like how I said I'd never learn when I was only 17, or how I lost the only love I knew when I was 23. Definitely bummer town. Spend a lot of time debating who I think I'm supposed to be is a theme throughout this album. It is absolutely a trend. At this point, we've gone from like mentioning it once or twice to almost every song talks about trying to break free of this original expectation of who he thought that he was supposed to be and finding out who he is. And then like how I said I'd never learn when I was only 17. That's classic teenager behavior. Or how I lost the only love I knew when I was 23. Sounds like a pretty bad breakup. Seems like this only love I knew is potentially a leading factor in a lot of this negativity. And we get the chorus. Tired of feeling like the party's over when everybody says it's just begun. A buck short and another day older. Guess I can't outrun the sun. Not made of money, but it's making sense when how it goes just becomes how it went. Misdirecting my affection. Guess I haven't learned my lesson. It's interesting. The tired of feeling like the party's over when everybody says it's just begun. He's tired. He's growing older, and he says in the next line, a buck short and another day older. As he's getting older, as you know, the people around him are still partying and kind of living their young lives. He's like, he's dreading age. He's anticipating being out of his prime. Guess I can't outrun the sun. Not made of money, but it's making sense when how it goes just became how it went. That's bar o'clock. Bar o'clock. First bar o'clock of the album. How it goes just becomes how it went. He's feeling past his time. Misdirecting my affection, guess I haven't learned my lesson. Which he said when he was 17, he'd never learn. And then we get verse 3. If there's one thing that I know, it's that I'll let myself fall down. Everybody's counting on me to make every second count. Easygoing, apathetic, too content with loneliness, never quite cleaned out my brain, I guess I'll thrive inside the mess. Though again, he's talking about letting himself down. People, shouldn't count on him for anything. If there's one thing that I know, it's that I'll let myself down. Everybody's counting on me to make every second count. Easygoing, apathetic, too content with loneliness is all sad, but he then says, never quite cleaned out my brain, I guess I'll thrive inside the mess. That line sounds like he's taking hold, and even though things are bad, life is a mess, he seems down and out, it's his time to do the thing. And then that kind of brings us back to this chorus where when he says tired of feeling like the party's over when everybody says it just begun, from this one where it's like, oh, I'm tired of feeling like the party's over, but everybody else keeps trying to party. After this verse 3, then it becomes, no, I'm tired of feeling like the party's over when everybody says it just begun. I want to get back in there and do some partying too. Next track is a good one. Next track is a special song, especially to those of you who have watched our home team album review. The next track 8, is Wide Eyes, featuring the home team. I can spend another night thinking of all the thoughts I know I can't say back. They really kill it with this one.
I can't spend another day reminiscing over the way the blood went by.
Just boom, 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 boom.
We are as fleeting, what's the price to pay? Didn't think I'd make it here, that's my mistake. Feels like everybody here knows what to say, but I don't plan on staying long.
This chorus rules.
Wide eyes questioning the moment. White lies masking every motive. This time, don't think I'm coming back. I made my peace at last. Hope you're okay with that.
Is that Brian Butcher?
Wanna coast to California, decorum that only gives me chills. Spent all of my time chasing more, but I can't afford
It is. It is Brian Butcher.
Wide eyes questioning the moment. White lies masking every motive. This time, don't think I'm coming back. I made my peace at last. Hope you're okay with that. Patience waiting, complacent. Placate, intoxicate me.
Their vocals meshing. It's so crazy. White eyes question in the moment. White lies masking every motive. Oh my god, this song rules. I swear to God, it's not just because Brian and the home team are on this. It's because this song is just perfect. It's not Brian and the home team take it from like perfect song to like intergalactic. Send this to the aliens to convince them that we are good at things. Incredible. And it just ends. Man, that is a good energy coming from Wide Eyes. It's just musically, it's so good. The guitar and the bass and then their vocals. I love this bridge where they're like playing off of each other and there's like, I guess we can talk about lyrics. Like I was paying attention. I can't spend another night thinking of all the thoughts I know I can't take back. I can't spend another day reminiscing over the way the blood went bad. I came to the city. I thought I found my place. I didn't know I'd need a second face. Everybody says that they know me, but I don't know them back, and I'm glad. Yeah, it's talking about moving to the big city. You can't spend another night thinking of all the ways the thoughts I know I can't take back. I can't spend another day reminiscing over the way the blood went bad. Yeah, it's talking about mistakes, talking about regrets, and he's done. He can't do that anymore. He's done thinking about all these regrets. Came to the city, I thought I found my place. I didn't know that I need a second face. Again, that's just that California effect, that Los Angeles effect, where it beats you into the ground with reality and you have to pretend to be somebody else, which he's been talking about this entire album trying to not do anymore. But he then gets to this city, he gets to the big city, and it's just more of the same. And then everybody says that they know me, but I don't know them back, and I'm glad. Yeah, the more you know people, you find out stuff you might not want to know. And we get this pre-chorus. If all we are is fleeting, what's the price to pay? Didn't think I'd make it here, that's my mistake. Feels like everybody here knows what to say, but I don't plan on staying long. Yeah, I mean, he's talking about if all we are is fleeting, what's the price to pay? You only live once is kind of the way I interpret that. Is what's the harm in trying or living spontaneously or just going and doing things because you can or because it's the right time. Didn't think I'd make it here. That's my mistake. We're getting a little flip. We're flipping things a little bit here, where he's been talking about how music hasn't been working and how he hasn't been motivated. Now we're getting into, I think we're making it. I think we're gonna make it. It feels like everybody here knows what to say, but I don't plan on staying long. Yeah, he's like, everybody here knows what to say. I'm not gonna listen. I'm not sticking around here. I'm moving up. I'm going. We're shooting forward. And we get the chorus. Wide eyes, questioning the moment. White lies, masking every motive. This time, don't think I'm coming back. I made my peace at last. Hope you're okay with that. Very good chorus. Like I said in the last song, these guys very good at choruses, and this one is no different. Wide eyes, questioning the moment. White lies, masking every motive. Is just going back to this California vibe, or just what he said in the first verse. I didn't know I needed a second face. Everybody else has a second face. Everybody else is wearing a mask. So everybody's just lying, right? About who they are and what they're doing. This time, I don't think I'm coming back. I made my peace at last, and I hope you're okay with that. I think he found himself. I think he did it, and now he's just gonna do what he wants to do. He's gonna make this music and hope for the best. And then we get Brian Butcher's vocals. Verse 2, wanted coast of California, decorum that only gave me chills. Spent all of my time chasing more, but I can't afford the thrill, but I will. That is hopeful as heckaroni. He's saying, I spent all of my time chasing more, but I can't afford it. But I will. He's just saying, I will make it. I'll get there. The things that I want, the luxuries, the fame, it's coming. We're going to get there. And then we got the same pre-chorus, chorus. And then we have this bridge, which I really, really like. Patience waning, complacent. Patience waning, complacent. Placate, intoxicate me. Tongue-tied, my mind is made up. Mind is made up. Yeah, nobody here gets a second chance. Why should I? This line specifically. I'm feeling like there's a tinge of guilt in this line because I feel like maybe they did get a second chance, right? They're talking about second chance, like nobody here gets a second chance. Why should I? But here we are. They've released this album. They've featured with a bunch of great upcoming artists, and they're saying, why do we deserve this? And I think it's just because they're good. Then we have the post-chorus. Lost my mind looking for truth, but all I found was lies. They made a mess of me and passed me by. Don't think I'm coming back. I've made my peace at last. Hope that you're okay with that. Really great. Lost my mind looking for truth, but all I found was lies. Insane, trying to find the answers, but didn't get what you were looking for. They made a mess of me and passed me by. Don't think I'm coming back. I've made my peace at last. Hope you're okay with that. Yeah, just saying to everybody. I hope you're okay with. I hope you're okay with that. I've made my peace and I'm good. Which it's interesting because there's a lot of guilt in the. I feel that there is a lot of guilt in self-actualization, right? It's like people don't actually want you to know who you are. People don't actually want you to be secure in yourself, and sometimes people might see you as selfish or narcissistic if you have a good understanding of yourself. You know what you need physically, mentally. And there's this expectation that you won't rub it in, or not even that you won't rub it in, but that like you can't express your success. You can't talk about being made whole in a sense. Like just this, again, self-actualization makes people uncomfortable. So it's kind of a cool line. I've made my peace at last, and I hope you're okay with that. Asking for permission that they are cool. That was a blast. And it has absolutely reinvigorated me for the rest of the album. 5 tracks left. We're going into track 9, Seeing Red. Ooh. Ooh. Hello?
Anything you need, I can show you how I shimmer in the perfect light. Last night was all love, tomorrow it's all gone, but today I think I might go out and lose my mind. Keep rolling your eyes, make yourself go.
Whoa! What in the world? Where did this come from? Yeah! Talk to him! We're in the back half of the album, baby! No more wallowing in self-pity! We're owning this! What? I love the screaming. Where is this all album? Whoa! Whoa! That was cool. Yeah!
No.
Whoa! Seeing Red might be the second or third best song of the album. Not better than Wide Eyes still, but it just shot up. I gotta take a second to think about that. I just wasn't expecting it. It took me by surprise, and yeah. I don't know. I guess I've never heard that song before. Again, like I said at the beginning of this, I've gone through and I've listened to the album, just like skipping through the way that I do when I'm trying to find new music. I'll listen to like a second or two of a song, and I guess I just skip to like a portion of this song that didn't have any audio or something because I didn't add this one to the playlist on my initial listen. Big mistake from me, I guess, because this song slaps. I would even go as far as to say as this song rips. This song is gas. Anyway, let's talk about the lyrics. Baby, you can take a seat. Is there anything you need? I could show you how I shimmer in the perfect light. Last night was all love. Tomorrow it's all gone. But today I think I might go out and lose my mind. Keep rolling your eyes. Make yourself go blind. See that smile that you try to hide behind those teeth. Looking for a reaction. Call it a crime of passion. Give you any reason to watch me bleed. And the lyrics are edgy too. It's just like a full tone shift. It's crazy. I don't even know where to begin as far as breaking these down. Baby, you can take a seat. Is there anything you need? I could show you how I shimmer in the perfect light. Last night was all love. Tomorrow it's all gone. But today, I think I might go out and lose my mind. He's taking what's his. He's like, sit down, hang out. I'll get you what you need. And by the way, I think that what you need is me. Keep rolling your eyes. Make yourself go blind. See that smile that you try to hide behind those teeth. Looking for a reaction. Call it a crime of passion. Give you any reason to watch me bleed. It's a little sexual, just a little bit. Just a itty bitty bit. And we get to the chorus. I know you better than you could know yourself, so who the f are you to tell me my own truth? I've stared into the sun, the shit I've seen you wouldn't believe. We're getting swears.
Mom, I need you to come pick me up. This guy's swearing.
It's just great. We just haven't gotten a whole lot of swears throughout this album, and now they're just like here. I know you better than you could know yourself, so who the f are you to tell me my own truth? Real, I guess. It's a little disrespectful. But I don't mind it. Because he goes on to say, I've stared into the sun. The shit I've seen you wouldn't believe. It's very edgy, and I don't know why, but I get the feeling that it's intentional. I think it is intentionally a little bit over the top edgy. I think they wanted to make a song that was loud and obnoxious and edgy like this. I keep saying edgy over and over again, but that's like the best way I can describe it because it is. And I think it's meta. I think it's intentional. I think they are aware of how it sounds, and that just makes it even better. Let me catch you up to speed. It's getting harder to breathe, and I think that I can see the vultures closing in. Becoming what I despise, turning into my disguise. Change the color of my eyes till I'm seeing red. Okay, so let's break that down first. Let me catch you up to speed. It's getting harder to breathe. So he's talking to them now. And I think I can see the vultures closing in. And so I think these two lines go hand in hand. And I think that I can see the vultures closing in. Becoming what I despise, turning into my disguise. It's kind of like he's saying vultures, they circle overhead when they see something dead on the ground. I think he's saying the old person is dead. And he is now turned into the character that he made up to pretend, or that he was pretending to be to make it. So the vultures are coming as he puts on the shoes of this new him, which we've been talking about this entire album. He's been trying to figure out who that is, and now he's kind of owning that role. And we have sorry to disappoint, just addicted to the noise, been looking for melodies with the perfect rhymes. If you're gonna be a star, come and step out of the dark. If you want to play the part, then baby, get in line. Yeah, I mean, he's saying he's addicted to the music. He's kind of in a groove. He's in a zone. Been looking for melodies with perfect rhymes. And he say, if you're gonna be a star, come and step out of the dark. You can't stay in the shadows. You got to make yourself known. If you want to play the part, then get in line, because everybody else is there too, trying to do the exact damn same thing. And then the outro. That's how the song ends. It's awesome. This song rules. We're in the final stretch here. The last 4 songs. These next 2 are 2 more songs that I am not as familiar with. And then the last 2 are songs that I am very familiar with. So I'm excited to see how this pace keeps up going into the back half of the album. Let's get into track 10, Beauty in the Fall.
I get the feeling I may never see the sun again. Am I obsessed or just depressed? Can't tell the difference. These violent sounds have violent.
Very different from the last song. Ooh, not the drop I was expecting. Ooh. Groovy. Whoa. This is crazy coming off of the last song. Whew. I'm expecting a like a tone shift, or even like a, I don't know, like a key change someplace. But it doesn't. And that build up happens, and then it just like comes back to neutral. It's subverting the expectations, which I guess this album is just doing over and over again. Wow. I really like the choir in the background. Just the background vocals are another unexpected treat. I will say, I think it's just the formula. I'm trained to expect this thing. So every verse, it kind of starts building up and building up and building up for a drop, and then for it to like get hard. But then it just doesn't. And though I think objectively that is not a bad thing, I think from like the listening to it standpoint, I just kept expecting it. It kept not coming. And I just really wanted it for like the serotonin. The song itself is just pure serotonin. It just like it was just like so vibey, so fun to listen to. But yeah, that drop never came. Though I think it's a cool subversion of expectations, I'm a little bummed. So getting into the lyrics, we have verse 1. I get the feeling that I may never see the sun again. Am I obsessed or just depressed? Can't tell the difference. These violent sounds have violent ends, but I love all of them. I can't escape the noise, so I just take more medicine. So he's on some medicine. Maybe antidepressants, maybe some ADHD. We can't focus, can't escape the noise. Or am I obsessed or just depressed? Can't tell the difference. It's it's interesting the way, like, kind of the story that the album is telling. For my interpretation of it, art is subjective. We all take different meanings from things, and this is what I'm taking from it: is he's been doubtful of himself, and then he started to feel like, oh wait a minute, things are happening. And then in seeing red, he's like, okay, we're taking this. We're gonna do this. And now we're immediately back in, he was maybe in a groove. They wrote a bunch of songs. They're feeling good about themselves. And then it doesn't stop. It's constant. It's potentially obsession, or a lot of creativity is birthed from sadness, from depression. And so he can't tell if like he's in the zone, or if he's obsessive, or if he's sick. Pre-chorus, I see all of the ways that this could end for me, but it doesn't scare me. It's straightforward. It's kind of hopeful, but it's also kind of sad, because he's like, I don't know, this could end with me dying. It doesn't scare me. He's not afraid of potentially failing, and he's also not afraid of the potential success. And then we have the chorus. I played the part of every tortured soul for far too long. Somehow I found myself when I came close to losing it all. Surrender reason to the moment. I let my worries dissolve. Sit back and watch the beauty in the fall. Yeah, I mean, he just saying, I've been too upset. I've been too in my own head for too long. Luckily I found myself. I figured it out. It just, when things were at their darkest, the motivation came, or the passion came. And surrender reason to the moment. You don't need the logic doesn't matter. Go with your gut. Let my worries dissolve. Sit back and watch the beauty in the fall. I take from this that he's talking about the album himself, like the story, his story. He's now telling us it's okay. You can. This album is about how hard things have been. Sit back and watch the beauty in the fall. Watch what happened and how it made this thing. It's okay to enjoy it. Just enjoy it. And then we have verse 2. Last 4 years, I felt the fear run up and down my spine. Spent the last 6 months making peace with everything, but I'm dying. Whoa. The last 4 years, I felt the fear run up and down my spine. I'm assuming that's probably about the time that he moved and tried to start this whole music career. And then within the last 6 months, he's making peace with everything, but I'm dying. Now we just get the pre-chorus, the chorus, go down to the bridge. I get the feeling I may never see the sun again. I get the feeling I may never see the sun again. I've seen the summit. Pray I might become what I adore. Laid on the altar. I'm the offering worth dying for. I think he is I think he is still referring to his old self. I don't think he's talking about himself. I think he is saying, I have laid my old self to rest. I'm the offering worth dying for, and I'm going to come back as this new version of myself. And yeah, just this outro. I see all the ways that this could end for me. Sit back and watch the beauty in the fall. I see all the way that this could end for me. Sit back and watch the beauty in the fall. That was a really cool song, a really pretty song. Working our way into track 11, Checking In.
We used to meet up at the lockers.
Okay.
Now we're lucky if we squeeze in a few drinks on the holidays. Weekends playing soccer.
Uh-oh.
Now my friends
This song's gonna make me
away,
sad.
they're too busy for pickup games. Just checking in. Hey, how you been? It's been too long, swear that I still exist. I missed your call, it's no one's fault. It was so much easier when we were kids.
I really like the music of this song, but this time I'm really kind of honing in on the lyrics. He's telling a story, and it's kind of bumming me out. This is really heavy. Just talking about friends and being and changing. I'm going forward, which is one of the most depressing things of all.
So I try to rewind to the place and the time where it all makes sense. Tell me we're still friends. Just checking in. Hey, how you been? It's been too long, swear that I still exist. Just checking in.
Oh man! So checking in gets the official stamp, the Cowabummer stamp of the album. Oh, that song made me sad because I feel like it's something that a lot of us can relate to. These they're just growing up, moving away, getting new jobs, changing, getting married, having kids, doing your own thing, living your own life, and wanting to still stay connected to the people that made you who you are, and the fear of losing that forever. Let's break into these. We used to meet up at the lockers. Now we're lucky if we squeeze in a few drinks at the holidays. Weekends playing soccer. Now my friends all moved away and they're too busy for pickup games. Yeah, I think a lot of these lyrics are gonna be pretty one-to-one. I don't think there's a lot to delve into so much. He's just reminiscing. He misses the times when things were simple and when his best friends and him could just get together and hang out. And in adulthood, that's just not feasible anymore. And I know that the phone works both ways, but maybe I'm too scared to confront how we all changed. Had my head in the sand for so long where it felt safe, but I just saw the sun for the first time in days. It sucks when you know somebody for so long and then you leave and or they leave and you spend some time apart, things change, and you're scared to reach out. You have anxiety about being the one to talk to them because what if they don't even like you anymore? What if they don't want to talk? What if they've moved on? Yeah. So he's just saying that he's felt safe in not knowing, and he's scared to reach out. But then he does in the chorus. He finally musters up the courage to make that call, just checking in. Hey, how you been? It's been too long. I swear that I still exist. I missed your calls. It's no one's fault. It was just so much easier when we were kids. So just checking in. That's really, really sad. Heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking because it is relatable. A lot of us here in our mid to late 20s, I feel like have gone through something like this. Verse 2, heard you're getting married next month. I remember when you met her and you told me she was the one. So thank you for the invite, but I couldn't get away from work and I can't afford the flight. Oh man. That's the worst. Is he's he's talking about how sad he is, reminiscing about his old friends and wish that they could get together. And then this one opportunity he can't take. Whether this but I couldn't get away from work and I can't afford the flight. To me, it almost sounds like excuses. Like it could very well be genuine, but to me, it sounds like this anxiety. And so he's saying, I wish I could make it, but I can't. I gotta get work. Flight's expensive, and so that's what it sounds like to me, more than it being genuine. Oh, I can't. I gotta work, and I got the flight. It's like, I'd love to, but seriously, I can't. That's that hurts. It really sucks. And that's it. So the bridge, the pendulum swings, and the distance it brings. Are you feeling it too, or is it just me? So I try to rewind to the place and the time where it all makes sense. Tell me we're still friends. The pendulum swings and the distance brings time marching on, pendulum of like a clock, and the distance it brings as you grow apart. Are you feeling it too, or is it just me? That is valid, because though somebody with anxiety about these things could be feeling that like this, while the other person, not in a disregarding way, just in a normal like normal brain way, I guess, they're just not thinking about it. They're like, all right, they got their lives, I got mine, we're just going about things, and we'll talk when we talk. And so he has all of these emotions and these feelings built up, and he says, tell me we're still friends, because in his mind he doesn't know. And though it is true that they are, and this other person or other people are like, oh yeah, let's get together, let's do drinks, let's hang out anytime that we can. He longs for the times when things were simpler. Checking in is a great way to make me feel sad at the end of the album. Next song, we're getting into track 12, Head in the Clouds.
I'm just gonna stay high, I think I'm gonna be alright.
And now he's feeling a little bit better. This song has hope. It's a good way to flip.
Been living my life in circles, never know where to start or how it ends. Everything is so
I love this acoustic.
second guess who
Keep
I've
it simple.
been and how I'm breaking this piece
Of time.
I'm just gonna stay high, I think I'm gonna be
Oh, we got the acoustic, tambourines, drum box, bass. So simple, but like what you need after a song like the last one is, because now it's just hopeful and it's rooted. You don't have anything crazy, you don't have hard drums, you don't have the electrics. It's just clean and punchy, certified bop. Just the percussion, the claps. Everybody singing. Bass coming in. Cool. That's so cool. Ooh, the guitar is just talking to him here. I really like that song. That is one I've listened to a good amount. I'm always a fan of like the acoustic type tracks that find their way onto albums like this, just because it's comforting. It's a comforting vibe, especially after coming after last song. Something like this that's just a little bit more hopeful, a little bit more light is really nice. Let's get into these lyrics. I'm just gonna stay high. I think I'm gonna be all right. Every day a little more alive with all that I leave behind. It's hopeful. I'm gonna keep feeling good. I'm gonna be okay. Every day I'm feeling a little bit more alive. Verse 1, kick it. Been living my life in circles, never know where to start or how it ends. Everything is so urgent, second guess who I've been and how I'm breaking my back just to take names. Too busy living it up to put down roots, trying to take notes, learning how to cope, but I just don't know if this is worth my youth. Yeah, it's been living my life in circles, never know where to start or how it ends. You're going, it's very self-explanatory there. It's just you going around in circles trying to figure it out, but it just, you always get back to where you were. Everything is so urgent, second guess who I've been and how I'm breaking my back just to take names. Sure, he's frantic. They're trying to keep up, trying to get this music made. Too busy living it up to put down roots, trying to take notes, learning how to cope, but I just don't know if it was worth my youth. So as we get into the end of the album here, he's talking about, it sounds like he's talking about the music again. Too busy to put down roots. Now they've made this album, they're proud of it, they're done with it, and now they got to tour, they got to make more music, they've committed to this lifestyle. So he's taking notes, trying to learn how to cope, trying to come to peace with this new lifestyle of mild success. Pre-chorus, all that's left to find is peace of mind, running out of time. And then the chorus, I'm just gonna stay high, think I'm gonna be all right, every day a little more live with all that I leave behind. Know I'm gonna get there somehow, take it all in and breathe out. I got everything I need now, think I'm done looking down, got my head in the clouds. Very cool story the song is telling. From the chorus, the first verse is like a little somber, and then we get into the chorus where he's like, but it's okay, I'm okay. I'm gonna keep trying to live my best life. I'm gonna try to be alive. I'm gonna get there somehow, take it one step at a time, breathe in, breathe out, and I'm not looking behind me anymore. Very hopeful, very nice. Verse 2, pack up my suitcase, carry damage with me wherever I go. Woke up in a new headspace, found a little room to grow. Again, there's a change. The lyrics have changed. He's hopeful. He's looking forward to the future. Though he carries this damage, he has this baggage. He's not gonna let him carry. He's not gonna let him weigh him down. And that's that song. That's the lyrics to that song. It's simple, but again, it's simple, but it's nice. It feels really good. It's a nice refresher. And it's a nice little palate cleanse before the end of the album, which we are getting into now. The last track 13, Built to Last, which before we get into it, this song is maybe top 3. I think the song is top 3. I don't know how I would put my top 3. If I had to, I would probably put top 3 songs on the album: Wide Eyes, Built to Last, Seeing Red. I think that's where I would go with top 3. And then High is like right there at 4th. So without further ado, last track, closing us out, Built to Last. And I will be singing along. Laid out my life in ways I couldn't explain. I love this acoustic. I was happy and healthy, lived out my days in vain. The day that I turned 21, I let my vices take the reins. Searching for answers and leading me on. Turns out that my only truth is grow up and move on. Regret the time I can't get back. Promises broke on my behalf. If all we are is who we have, I guess I'm making amends. Built to last. Closing out the song with another perfect chorus.
If I can't live with me sober, how can I justify
the way that I curse my father? We're just two of a kind. Yeah, I could tear out my throat, but I would still have his eyes.
searching for answers that lead in
Bar o'clock.
turns out that my only truth is grow up and move on.
Yeah. We're just gonna rock out for this last bit and settle.
Searching for answers, they're leading me on.
Turns out that my only truth is grow up and move on. Regret the time I can't get back. Promises broke on my behalf. If all we are is who we have, I guess I'm making amends. Built to last. And we have this outro that references every song in the album. This is such a cool way to close the album. Just like reiterating lyrics from the other songs in this super, almost orchestral way. That was Arrows in Action, Built to Last. Honestly, an absolutely stellar album. Listening to it front to back like that, and don't even get me started on the last, so we'll get there. But just listening to this entire album front to back was a really cool experience, and I don't know what I expected. It wasn't this. This was wonderful. It's up there for me now. Like, it just all albums really, really great. Built to Last specifically, I listen to this song a lot. This song comes up on my playlist pretty frequently, and I listen to it just about every time because I just love the sound of this entire song. I love the energy from it, and it is a perfect way to close out the album. Just let them rock out a little bit, play their instruments, sing a little bit, and then revisit the entire album. Speaking of revisiting the entire album, let's get into these lyrics. Verse 1. This is just with the acoustic guitar too. Laid out my life in ways I couldn't explain. I used to justify highs, pouring myself down the drain. Claimed I was happy and healthy, lived out my days in vain. The day that I turned 21, I let my vices take the reins. Couldn't be honest, had no name to blame. Yeah, I mean, he's talking about his past. He's talking about allowing himself to pour himself down the drain, drinking, getting high, just like letting his vices take the reins. A lot of this stuff is, he's just saying it. Couldn't be honest, had no name to blame. He was trying to justify it to himself, right? He couldn't be honest about whatever addiction or depression, and he couldn't point the finger at anybody. But then we have this chorus, searching for answers, they're leading me on. Turns out that my only truth is grow up and move on. Regret the time I can't get back, promises broke on my behalf. If all we are is who we have, I guess I'm making amends, built to last. I really like this chorus. Turns out my only truth is grow up and move on I feel is very true to him. Is very true to the rest of this album, because a lot of it is talking about growing up and moving on and leaving home and maybe, like he says, regret the time I can't get back, promises broke on my behalf. It's okay to have regrets. It's okay to have the past exist and be part of the thing that shaped you and made you, but you still got to trudge forward. Verse 2, outlived my vices, thought I wanted to die. Okay, good. Good though. He's outlived his vices and he thought he wanted to die, but he doesn't anymore. He's better. He's okay. Drunk off any old crisis, leave me empty inside. That sounds about right for what we've heard. If I can't live with me sober, how can I justify the way that I cursed my father? We're just two of a kind. Yeah, I could tear out my throat, but I would still have his eyes. Yeah, so he's saying, if I can't live with me sober, how can I justify the way that I cursed my father? Because I don't know if he's referencing his father as also maybe an alcoholic or they didn't have a great relationship. But if he can't be sober, if he's drunk all the time, then he is no better than his father. He's saying we're just two of a kind. He's saying I could tear out my throat, but I would still have his eyes. I'm still his kin. We're still family. I'm still this man that I don't want to be. So this is him now telling himself, hey man, get off your ass and get better, And then we have this outro, which is very cool. And they have all the things here, all the references. I'm so scared I'll end up back home is from Over It. Don't Think I'm Coming Back is from Wide Eyes. Now I'm on my own in a city made of gold is from Entropy. You call it torture, I call it paradise is from High. Guess I haven't learned my lesson is from Learn My Lesson. The scene you wouldn't believe is from Seeing Red. The Devil's in the Details is from Put You Through Me. Another Year with You Inside My Head is the credits. Are You Feeling It Too is from Checking In. Watch the Beauty in the Fall from Beauty in the Fall. Every Day a Little More Alive from Head in the Clouds. And What Was It Made For If I Wasn't Made For from track 1, Made for This. Is a really cool, unique way to close out the album that I had never seen that, where they kind of like go through it like that. What a treat. Arrows in Action, thank you. Thank you for this beautiful treat. And anybody, again, who's listening or watching on the YouTube, I implore you to please don't let your time with this band end here and listen more. I know I said it at the beginning, but it's always good to support the artists and share. And this album, yeah, 10 out of 10. God dang.